Here is an easy, do-it-yourself project, making miniature dice for display using 3mm thick craft foam and markers, paint, or pencil. The video shows one way to make tiny replicas of the cube-shaped dice used in activities and games. 14mm or 9/16 of an inch cubes are a common regular size dice. I'm making a dice that measures 2.78 millimeters or 7/64 of an inch, and it's compatible for the 1/12 scale. The cubes could be modified by enlarging to 9/64 of an inch for the 1/6 scale. Suggested materials and supplies are listed in the description box below the video. I measured my 14mm dice at 9/16 of an inch cubed and cut a piece of paper that size. Then I folded it in half 4 times to get the 1/12 size of each cube side. While that 1/12 version is okay, I kind of wanted the dice to be a bit smaller, so I tried a 1/2 inch cube paper folded in halves 4 times, and I liked that size better. I am making these tiny cube replicas so that I can add them to a miniature trunk kit project I have and a backgammon board game. To begin the project, first select 3mm craft foam. It's available in sheets. A 2x2 inch piece should be plenty enough to make 2 to 4 dice plus spare for practices. This is a foam piece comparison. The tan is 2mm thick and the white is 3mm thick. Next, cut the foam strips. I lightly mark the foam ends in pencil, 7/16 of an inch, as shown. Then I place a metal rule joining those 2 end marks for a guide to the craft knife to cut on the mat. I'm trying not to press the foam out of shape while cutting, so I take several passes with the blade. Erase the pencil marks after cutting. Then I place a piece of paint edging tape on the mat. I curl over the ends so it attaches to my mat. Then I gently press the foam strip on top. Okay, I need to move my mat a little bit to the side so that I can cut around the camera. I am cutting the cubes off the strip about 7/16 of an inch. You can measure this or eyeball. Pencil marks are sometimes difficult to erase off the foam sheets. So I'm eyeballing it. I'm cutting extras for practice and also in case they drop off my table, never to be found again. Many cube dice use the numbers 1 through 6, represented by dots or pips. These round symbols are placed in the 1 and 6 opposite sides, 2 and 5 opposite, and 3 and 4 opposites, so that all the sides add up to 7. I tried 3 ways to make the dot pip markings: ultra-fine permanent markers or acrylic paints applied with a pin end or a piece of wire, or a mechanical pencil. Each method can have positive and negative results. Practicing on the foam gives you an idea what works best for you, and a steady hand really helps. The ultra-thin permanent marker has a circle dot tip, and it works well when held vertically to the dice side. The color is vibrant on the ones that I tried, which were black, red, green, and blue. But the ink can get a bit fuzzy and spread out into the foam, so you need to apply it quickly and lift up. Sometimes an older marker is better because it does not spread the ink or make it fuzzy as much as a newer one, like with the green, the red, and the blue I'm showing here. I made dice in a variety of colors. You can either use individual 3mm width color foam sheets, or you could cut white foam cubes and then color with permanent markers like I have. If using a white foam base, you can make a tester strip of colors. Gently hold the cubes with your tweezers. Apply the permanent color with a fine tip marker. You can also place the cubes on a plastic protector piece and then rotate the cube along with the tweezers to apply the ink. Make sure to remove the ink in between colors on the tweezers with rubbing alcohol and paper towel so that the colors won't blend. And of course, removing the ink from your fingertips. Then allow the cubes to dry thoroughly. I waited overnight for mine to dry. The second way I tried to apply the dot pip was with acrylic paint so that I could compare it with the marker and the pencil. Instead of a paintbrush, I use a sewing pin or quilting pin end. I remove the tips. This can be done by rubbing the tips several times against the abrasion or sandpaper, or by carefully cutting it with a wire cutter. I try both. For the paints, I test white and black acrylics, but other colors can be used. I try placing white and black dots on the different colors, and I'm looking for the best contrast. The acrylic paint method also works well. You just need to keep removing the extra paint from the pin on a piece of paper towel between your dot applications. To make it easier to add the dot pip to the top of the cubes, you can raise them up on a container like the top of a paint bottle with a reversed painter tape to secure them. After finding the pencil marks on the foam was a bit difficult to remove, I decided to try a third dot pip method using the number 2 pencil. It works good for a gray or faded look. Press the pencil nib vertically into the foam. Swirl it around to make darker dots. These cubes remind me of the furry dice card decorations. I think I'm going to have to try to make those too in another video. Now I have the dice for the trunk and the board game. I'll have a show and share video on the trunk kit. I printed the board game from printmini.com. Go to the home page, select the 1-inch scale on the left side under Printables. Then scroll around to the board game's choice. After printing, I added 3D game pieces and placed the dice on top of the image. I'll have a video showing all 7 of these board games and how I added game pieces later. I hope you enjoyed this video, making tiny dice. Thank you so much for watching.